Hey dolls! Welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michon and I do weekly DIYs, hauls, and other fun things. If you're not new, hey doll, hey! Today I have some really nice high-end looking fall decor DIYs for you. They are all Kirkland'S inspired, so let's jump right in.
Is this what you want now? Feels like you're looking for something better.
Alright, so for my first DIY, I headed over to Kirkland'S, as I did for all these, and I saw this wooden ledge mums floral arrangement. I thought it was so pretty. It's $34.99, not too bad of a price, but I know I can make it for much less. So these are the items that I am going to be using. Ignore the crates. I don't know why they're in there, but they're for the next DIY. So I'm using 3 mason jars and a Decor wood block from Dollar Tree, and I painted the mason jars white using white chalk paint, and I gave them 2 coats. This is what they look like afterwards. I actually had 2 different types of mason jars. One was an actual mason jar that had word heritage on it, so I use that for the middle, but the other 2 are the same. Next, I'm going to go ahead and work on my decor block using this classic caramel color. I'm going to go ahead and use that as a base coat. This is going to give it a wood technique. So I've done this wood technique before, so I'm doing it again for the next 2 projects. Absolutely love the way these turned out. After you put that lighter brown color on, go ahead and dry brush, streak it, like a heavy dry brushing of a darker color, usually black or like a dark red. And then you're going to go ahead and use a darker brown to paint over the top. Don't be alarmed that you think that the black won't show through underneath the brown. It totally will. So just keep brushing it on there and getting the look that you want. If you have to put more black on there, then do that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and make my handles for this. So I'm taking these floral wires, cutting them in half, and then fishing my beads through. Of course, you need to go ahead and curve the ends so that way that the beads don't slip off. I would recommend using a needle nose plier if you had one. I could not find mine. So I think I did about 8 to 9 beads for each one of these, maybe 10. I can't remember, but that's pretty much all I did for that, and looped it around to look like a handle. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint these beads black. I'm using a chunky brush from Dollar Tree because it's a lot easier to use this kind of brush, to get all into the grooves and in the middle and behind the beads. Next, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to hot glue this down. I had a little bit of trouble doing this, so this is the easiest part, or this is the most practical way to attach these on there. So I hot glued my wire down, so I unraveled it, and then I went ahead and took some twine and wrapped that around to get it to hold in place. So, it worked out pretty great, actually. Next, I took my white mason jars, and I took the one that says Heritage on the front, and I went ahead and sanded that down to get the word to show through. Then I made some twine beads. Then I made some twine bows. I did double bows and then hot glued them on the front. Then I took these florals. I actually got this from Walmart. They were on sale for 97 cents. I don't believe these are mums, and I cannot remember what they're called, but they're close enough. They look like mums. Then I just cut those off of the stems and then just placed them inside of the mason jars, and I love this look. It's so nice. It looks so much like the original, and I couldn't be happier with the way that it turned out. And literally I had everything on hand except for the floral and the decor block. So all in all, it only cost me $2. But if you have to get everything, it'll be less than $8, not including the paint.
I never gave the key to you, even though I wanted to. I should be trying something
something new, but now my body's aching. I'm tired of dwelling in the dark, it's just that my heart can't take it. I didn't know what it would cost me when I let you go. I feel alone, and I'm just singing,
Today I am participating in the Look for Less challenge, regularly hosted by Yami over at the Latina Next Door, and her new co-host this month is Yelena over at the Blondie Next Door. How about that? So make sure you go ahead and check out everybody's video when you are done with mine. I will have both of those lovely ladies' channels linked in the description box below, as well as the playlist. All right, let's jump right back in. For my next DIY, I am going to make this a lamb's ear and plaid pumpkin floral arrangement. This also was only $29.99. Not too bad, but it's kind of small for the amount that it is. So I'm going to go ahead and recreate that myself using 2 of these crates from Dollar Tree. They're the ones that don't have the space in the middle. So I'm going to do the same wood technique, painting it first with my classic caramel color and then streaking it with some black and then painting it over with my Truffle chalk paint. This is what they look like completely dry, and I really love how these came out better than actually the Decor block. Next, I went ahead and hot glued them together, and then I put a clamp that I got from Dollar Tree together just to get them to hold. I mean, it's hot glue, so it's an instant hold, but I just wanted to make sure that they wouldn't move. So I set that aside, and I'm actually going to go ahead and work on a pumpkin. So I had this plaid kind of look from cloth from Dollar Tree. It was actually a scarf. And so what I did is just cut a piece off of the larger piece that I had and just cut it down to size to fit around that pumpkin. I went ahead and took out the middle part and just made a bigger hole. And then just kind of just putting the rest of the cloth in the middle of that pumpkin hole. Pretty easy. And I hot glued down any places where the cloth was sticking up. And then I just hot glued the little stem back in piece. You don't have to hot glue it, but I did just for it to hold. I made 2 of these actually. I ended up needing 2. After that, I took some of these foam cores, cut that in half. Not some. I took 1 foam core, cut it in half, placed it in there, and then started to arrange my floral arrangement. Now, anybody is like me that has all of these leaves left over when you don't need them and you're just using the flowers. So I have so much of that. So I took some Spanish moss, putting them on the ends in that crate to give it a nice look when you're looking inside of it. Took some of these boxwood sprigs as well as some some lamb ear florals and just started arranging everything. I love symmetry in my life, so I went ahead and tried to make it look kind of the same on both sides, but I just, took all the leaves and just arranged them the way that I liked and poked them in there, laid them in there, just making sure I covered that white foam core. I placed some of the pumpkins on top of the leaves to give it a more realistic look. These pumpkins are from Dollar Tree. They're the clip-on ones. Absolutely love how this is coming together. This is actually my first floral arrangement that I've done in a crate like this. So I'm super proud of myself for pushing myself to do a little bit more than I normally would.
It should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know.
And this is how it turned out. I absolutely love how it came out. The one from Kirkland'S just had 1 crate, but it was a little bit bigger than one of the crates that I have. So yeah, this is totally came out way better than I could imagine.
I could be driving to your place, but now the ground is shaking. Could be a phase, but it feels like it will never go away until we
my third DIY, headed over to Kirkland's again for another $29.99 item. This is actually new. It's a Harvest Metal plaque. I love this. I love the color. Wanted to just try to make it on my own. So these are the products I'm using. 2 signs from Dollar Tree, some caulk, yes, some caulk, and as well as these rods. So I watch Melissa over at All Things Crafty, and she recommended these square rods, and I absolutely love them. I see why she recommended them. So what I'm going to do is hot glue both of these signs together on the back side, and I also used some smaller craft sticks to keep that in place as well. Then I went ahead and sanded down where the stickers, like the tags, came off, and sanded down the edges so I can get a smooth finish. And then I got this cute little ladybug vacuum from Amazon. I absolutely love it, so get one if you need. Next, I took my dowel rods and went ahead and measured out the length that I need and used my miter saw and cut that down. I sanded down a little bit of the edges just to make sure I had a nice smooth finish, and these are all of the pieces that I had. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue them to each side. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this caulk and spread it around all on this sign. And so the first thing I used actually was a craft stick. I used 2 craft sticks to go ahead and try to get a smooth finish. Didn't quite work well. It did for a moment, but you still get like kind of, it looks like wood bark, I guess you would say. So I just gave up on the craft stick and then used my hand. So I ended up using 2 of these. I think they are 8 ounces of caulking. The next thing I'm using are a small and medium sized paintbrush, but I'm just using the the bottom of it to go ahead and carve out my letters. So it says Farm Fresh Autumn Harvest with a little arrow and a pumpkin underneath Farm Fresh. So pretty much that's all I did. If you mess up on these letters, all you have to do is put more caulk on there and smooth it out and redo it. And that's what I did several times because I messed up a few times. So don't feel bad. Just use the extra caulk that you have and redo it. Super easy. I would recommend going ahead and pushing down a little harder so that way the cardboard of the sign actually shows through. So although you want to carve it in there, make sure that you can see the cardboard. So that way it looks a bit more, what is the word I'm looking for? Carved in, I guess. For my pumpkin that's in the middle of the arrow, I went ahead and used this little Decor pumpkin. It's like a wood pumpkin from Dollar Tree. I had it last year, and I just put that in the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and spray paint this a metallic color, let that dry, and this is how it turned out. I absolutely love this. It's so sparkly. It's so pretty. And I mean, I think I did a pretty good job recreating it.
I never knew how much I needed you. It should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know. It could have been you. What a crime and what a shame to let you go. Sometimes I just don't know what to do, 'cause it should have been you.
Dolls, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. Also, make sure you head over to the playlist to check out everybody else's recreations, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell so you don't miss an upload, and also give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. All right, dolls, I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Sometimes I just don't know what to do. It should have been you.